What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Musa Gaming here, and today I'm back with another episode of a account coaching series, and featuring MeFe, who is actually a recent winner of Zenith the Power Skin. So, very much congratulations for MeFe, who actually won this wonderful skin of 20% infantry attack, and he's a VIP 17 player, and his account, by the way, in all honesty, I already, I already made this PowerPoint, right? And my one-liner is like, he already know what it's doing, but then again, most of what I'm about to suggest him is basically the order in which that he wants things done. And then I'll go over a little bit of how that actually is, like why that's the case and so forth. So yeah, he's a VIP 17 player who is rocking that 5% all damage, which is nice. And I think really like VIP 17 is when you can practically start rallying. I know that some people are like saying VIP 19 is a must before rallying, but that 5% attack honestly doesn't really mean much. Like if you want to rally in garrison, that 5% all damage is a huge difference, but then again, 5% attack, in all honesty, can be just acquired from having really good armament difference. So, yeah, like VIP 17 is a very good place for you to actually park yourself in. I'm currently VIP 18, but then again, I'm like 1,200,000 VIP points away from VIP 19, so I'm still considering. But then again, my apologies. That was my little side on the VIP 17, 18 and stuff. And he reached out to me a couple days ago, and he was asking, "Hey, like, do you still make the account review videos?" He just wanted to see if I can get my eyes on. He can get my eyes on whatever he has. I have that cut off a little bit, so I'm just gonna go ahead and read it out in this way. So I was like, yeah, like sure. Like I always am, I'm always open to provide new suggestions for my subscribers. And even if you're not subscribed, for my audiences. So very nice. And then he actually gave me a full list of things that he was working on and in terms of planning, which were very nice. I'm going to actually read it off because it's going to be very important for later part of the video. But then again, yeah, like he's one of the rare cases where he actually had everything planned out, and those plans actually make 100% of the sense. But let's read it off from the top of the chart, right? He finished crafting 2 horns and they're all included in the set. Nice. Horns are probably the most valuable equipments that are in the game right now, and like in all honesty, I don't think I see horns going away anytime in the next 5 years. Like horn is that good. Horn is the best equipment so far in the game. And his current plans are he really wanted to change the dagger to horn to have 5 horns at least. Okay, that's nice. You will see that in his set he has a single dagger worked on. I'm assuming that he made them when he was still in pre-Season of Conquest era, and everyone had that one dagger that they were actually running for their main march, I think, if you were rallying a garrison during that time. And he wanted to fix his infantry set first. He got blueprints for leadership, boosts, and legs, and he wanted to have like one basically really good KVK slash leadership. So like that perfect infantry set. And then he wanted to have another one with like basically the old meta. So okay, gotcha. I'm gonna go ahead and provide you the best kind of order in which that you should work on your equipments, like I always do for other people who actually ask for the account advices too. But then again, I'm gonna actually provide him, okay, like what is the best order in which that he should be working on his first main set. And now he wants to work on also the 3rd infantry set, which is really good. Because if you're working on one set and if you already have crafted and if you already have the materials and equipments crafted for that, it makes your life infinitely easier for you to actually make the 3rd set, because you only have to fill in the blanks of which that you're actually filling, replacing from your 1st set, that is. And he must also have at least one cavalry set, which is actually with all KVK parts, which is nice. That's having one really strong cavalry set is going to help him with his account. And he wants to fix an archer set with leadership legs and gloves with KVK weapon and head. You just don't know where to start. A spoiler alert, and funny thing is that his order in which that he should be working on things are actually perfectly aligned and numbered in this order. So I'm gonna actually suggest things in this exact order. But then again, I'll explain why that's the case, right? Because that's the most important part. Like, you really need to know like why in this order makes the most sense for most people. So yeah, hopefully. So it really feels like I know that like he knows what he's doing with his account. He just, I think, was kind of he just needed someone else to actually tell him. It is all he needs. And you can also tell that he knows what he's doing from his lineup already. Like, he has Lucia Alex, which is good, Ragnar Scipio Prime, Poe Arthur, Nesky Joan, Zhuge Philip, or Herman. And oh my god, those lineups are already perfect. And he wants to basically know how his lineup can change with the addition of Bai Chu into the mix, and then make 3rd Infantry March. This is going to be easy. He already has a very good working 5 marches, and then I just need to make a suggestion in terms of what is the best kind of course of action for that to take from there onward. He has the current Zenith skin and also have the 5% skill damage skin, which is the Twilight Falls. But then again, I don't think he needs Twilight Falls at this point if he's thinking about running 3 infantries, and then he already has 20% infantry attack skin, which is nice. And also the main question, I need pincer like inscriptions ASAP, so he's gonna convert his arch set to pincer. But then again, should I take the hunter away from Ragnar as well? And I'll go ahead and make my suggestions on this in the armament sets. He said that his PS Gorgo is 5553. That is great. If he's done, and when he's done with his first set, and then he actually start working on iconicking and talenting on his first perfect set, that's when he can actually start thinking about garrisoning with infantry, especially when he has the Zenith the power skin of 20% attack. I know that those of you who are watching all my videos would already know this, but then again, the 20% Zenith the power skin is very, very powerful, very underrated. This skin is actually better than the 15% defense skin for infantry. It is actually the second best Zenith the power skin that has been released yet for the troop type. So it's a very good skin. So if he wants to go, if he wants to garrison a rally with that Zenith the power skin, by all means, I think he's definitely in that route for him to basically make this work. That I'm assuming that he's investing in Gorgo because he wants to at least garrison. And he already told me how to say his nickname. I hope I'm not mispronouncing your name, MeFe. But then again, yeah, cool. Very organized person, very, 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 very strong player. I can already tell. You can see that he has already amazing number of gold has saved up for that Baichu expertise, which is awesome. I don't even have that. I have like 100 gold that's left after maxing out Subutai, which is fine. But then again, let's see. Objectives and current status. Okay, so the first thing that he wants to ask was, okay, he will convert Arch to Pincer. Should I move Hunter from Ragnar? Okay, I got you. Look for the later part of the video, but I'll explain why in what scenarios you should actually swap the Hunter to Ragnar, Hunter from Ragnar to Baichi and Yuche, in which scenario that you shouldn't, and then what should be the top priority, and these are basically what he actually listed out, and then I'll go in and suggest my order. And as I said before, spoiler alerts, his order is perfect. But then again, I'll explain why that's the case, right? And then current lineups. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and mute my phone because it was giving me rally alerts. Current lineups already really good. I'm just gonna go ahead and suggest him the 3rd Infantry March lineup, based on the fact that he's gonna get Baichu right away, and he doesn't really need to invest in any other commander just because he has Philip, and Philip is so versatile already. So then Zenith of Power Skin, 5% skill damage, and then new 20% Zenith of Power Skin. Cool. This is his lineup. As you can see, he has a lot of commander's expertise already, which is awesome. Which gives him a lot of wiggle room for him to work with, and especially with Guan Yu too, because Guan Yu, if you want Feel Silence, at the end of the day, you can still use Guan Yu with Scipio Prime or Ragnar Prime. That's an option that I can suggest, but then again, we're kind of steering away from that infantry skill damage set nowadays, so I don't think we should really worry about that. But his Liu Che set, very nice set, very clean arch set, and this is kind of where you can see that he's a very organized person. Like, he doesn't like to have any other stats kind of mixed up, but overall very strong armament set for arch. Invincible is nice. I think Invincible is that banner that you actually get for Arch, which is really nice. He already has one rare inscription and one infamy, and I believe that's the one that gives you 3.5% infantry attack. Overall, without inscription, he has about 29%, 29.4% to be exact, in terms of stats for infantry. And then if you have infamy included in there, it will go all the way up to 33.1% for total stats, on top of that 3.1% march speed that infantry desperately needs. You can see that he also has Eternal Light, Iconic 3, and then Shio's Travel, I think that's what it's called, or Iconic 3, which is really nice. He has critted KVK weapon, which will save him a lot of materials and time for him to actually work on that. I wasn't one of those people who was really lucky with my KVK weapon and helmet, and I unfortunately had to invest a lot of materials, and I hope you critted that as you actually crafted it, because that was a pain. And now it's like Iconic 4, and just took so much of my materials out of my rest of the set that, like, yeah, I'm venting at this point, right? Very good. Everything talented in terms of Cloak has the two-piece set of the helmet and the gloves, which is nice. And then also drum and dagger. And the reason why I think another point in which that I can tell that he really knows what he's doing is that he has drum and dagger already in Liu Che. And now Liu Che is the only commander that he has in his lineup that does any sort of extra auto attack. Liu Che has that extra combo attack that he does as he does the auto attack and stuff. So, like, yeah, this is really good. Drum will proc a little bit more because of that. Dagger will provide more value because of that. Overall, very strong set. I wouldn't touch much except for, again, like you mentioned, you're gonna go ahead and eventually swap this out to Pincer, which is gonna be really good with Baichu. Now, one other thing that I'm gonna mention is that you will need to build another arch set because of the fact that you're gonna eventually kind of have to have that two different normal / smite damage dealing marches. So you'll need to build another, like, two sets of pincer if you need to, or have one set of arch and one set of pincer, whichever you prefer. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have legendary inscriptions for pincer, it really isn't better than arch. So, but right now, yeah, your plan seems to work really good either way. All right, Ho Chubing, very nice set, very all damage focus. You can see that he has one perfect cavalry health roll, I'm assuming, and then he has basically everything else invested in all damage. A little bit lower on the stat size for people like him who has like amazing stuff. But then again, for in terms of inscriptions, there's nothing that I can actually touch on. These are really good. Having 3 rare inscriptions and one normal inscription is really nice, and especially craze. I think a lot of people overlook the power of craze, but then again, craze does provide you a lot of rage. Uh, and I know that hunter is a really good inscription, but then again, among the rare inscription, I think craze is the only one that gives you that much rage for active skill heavy marches like cold trooping, which is really good. Overall, very strong set. He has basically the quote unquote perfect cavalry set except for his helmet. That I'm assuming because he already has other uses of the KVK coins that he has, such as the KVK weapon that he already crafted for his Liu Che and talented. So I'm assuming that he's working on it. But credit ring, oh my god. And I'm surprised that he actually credit ring for cavalry instead of infantry, because he has infantry set built out already. But then again, yeah, a very strong set. You can see that he already has the Ash of the Dawn, which is iconic 3, which is really good. Then I think the reason why he has it is because he's doing a lot of Lutheran scroll, and then you get access to Ash of the Dawn every now and then it's just a little bit easier for him to actually iconic 3 that than the rest of the kit, which is really nice either way. But yeah, a very strong cavalry set, a lot of all damage, which is really nice. Just for reference, that all damage is probably 1% of all damage in general rule of thumb is just as good as 2% health usually. So this set right here, although it looks like the overall stats may seem a little low, that all damage when converted to health is gonna be really powerful for him. Another set, very strong wedge set again, but then again, this time with a lot of armaments and total stats at the end of the day, right? Robust to give you that 3.5%, armor to give you that 3.5% defense. So robust give you 3.5% health, by the way, for those of you who are wondering how much that is. And on top of that has 3.5% march speed. Actually cleaner looking set, but then again, no rare inscriptions and so forth. Devious actually provides you skill damage bonus, which is nice. I think Watchman gives you counterattack damage. I could be wrong, or like taken reduction. Brave is also, I think, pretty good armament. I forgot what it does, but then again, it's a really strong inscription. And he has basically the quote unquote starter starter set for Alexander Nevsky, which is really nice. I think it's a good idea for you to separate out the KVK set, and then like this one, you can see that he already has Sacred Dominion working on for his weapon, and a like non KVK weapon set basically for cavalry. All you need to do right now is for him is basically giving himself a Pride of the Khan, and then you can basically inherit this one to his second set. And if he ever wants to build the third set, you can basically utilize this one that he already crafted and basically inherit that to the third set. But really strong set. Nothing else that I can say. Very much a lot of stats that he's going to be able to gain from his armaments, and also at the same time, very clean looking set as well. And Zhuge Liang is also rocking very strong equipments. None of them credit, but then again, he has full set of Dragon Breath set, which is really nice. And for archers, I think Dragon Breath set is particularly really strong, especially when you're not maining archer, because it does provide you a lot of set bonuses that are just too powerful for you to actually ignore, especially that 4-piece bonus that will give you 5% skill damage. I know that archers, eventually might actually pivot to having that what's this called, the healing factor information right now, but then again, at this very point that we're talking with you, that hasn't happened yet. And then Zugele Herman is the best archer march that you can bring out in the game, especially when you have that skill damage taken debuff that you can apply with Herman Prime. With that said, overall stat wise is really strong. He has Hunter, which is really good, and Armored and Hardy to kind of fill in the gap of missing defense and health that he has over here. And basically that will basically make this whole set have about 27, 20, 29, 30, almost 30% stats. Metallics also give you, I think, 2.5% stats of defense or 3.5% stats of defense. Very tanky, with 3 different tank related stats that you'll be able to get from armaments. And also at the same time, 1.1% all damage is really decent. And also 2.9% march speed that archers desperately need when they're running away from cavalry. So overall, very strong set. I wouldn't touch a single thing. But then if I was you, but I know that you wanted to get suggestion on the best, converting this set into the quote unquote best archer set, which is nice. And I'll go ahead and provide my suggestions based on what you have. I would hate to break the Dragon Breast set that you already have, but then again, if you really want to work on archers for the best gear possible, then I'll go ahead and provide that suggestion for you from my end. All right, and last and but not least, he has the second infantry set with Ragnar Prime. You can see that he has the set pieces of helmet, weapon, which is nice, and then he has the hope cloak and the non-set gloves, which is gonna be handy for him, because eventually for the best of the best gear set, you're gonna need this non-set piece for infantry, which will eventually provide you slightly more stats. But then again, at the end of the day, those like mega whales and stuff, those people who are actually competing for the top spots, having a little bit of an edge does make a difference. So, and he has the Eternal Night credit, which is nice. Shio's Travel also, and he has the drum and horn crafted already, which is really good. Horn is universally the best, and then drum for his second set really opens up the possibility for him to actually use and utilize drum when he does make that 5 march lineup eventually. And he has Hunter that he was thinking about transferring, which I'll go ahead and suggest provide my best suggestion on where he should actually get the Hunter. Defiant and Focus Fire is really good. Focus Fire is going to give you that 4% skill damage buff, and Defiant will do whatever he does. So very nice. He's rocking that 2.8% archer defense, but then again, I don't think it matters too much. He has good armaments, good inscriptions, and I think that's just something that we should be happy about at this point. All right, well, let's just go ahead and move on to basically take a look at his current set. And as you can see on the red title on the bottom, no immediate optimization needed. He knows what he's doing already. But then again, if you want to basically optimize this, right? The equipment priority is as follows. So craft horn, which is going to be top priority to replace the dagger. And this is where I'm actually going to suggest that dismantling is optional, because here's the thing. If you're crafting if you're converting your current infantry set to the best set, you're going to have a lot of equipment pieces that are going to basically become quote unquote available or benched, right? But as that happens, if you want to build your third infantry set, it would make your third infantry set infinitely easier to make, because you already have whatever the equipment pieces that you're using for the first infantry march. And then you just have to transfer over those infantry sets to either your second set or the third set. So yeah, if you want to dismantle dagger, because dagger does like we're not gonna lie to ourselves. Dagger is going to be really really bad eventually to have included in your set, because why not just get a horn instead? Why not just get a drum instead? So whether or not he wants to replace dagger and dismantle it is really up to him. But then again, yeah. And then the best infantry set craft is going to be my first set of order that I recommend on top of after crafting the horn. Now, notice that I actually said keep other parts for infantry number 3, right? Because if you craft infantry KVK helmet and then keep the helmet and give your current helmet the best helmet to either second infantry set or the third infantry set, depending on where you want to put it. I would just recommend that you actually give your current best helmet to the secondary set and then move the secondary set to the third set, because of the fact that, hey, like, secondary set is going to be more important for you than the third set, right? And then craft leadership pants and boots for that health and set bonuses that you can get from leadership pieces. But then you keep the current set until a similar or iconic talent level is actually given. What I mean by that is still craft the leadership boost and pants, but give it to your third infantry in the meantime while you're actually working on iconic and talenting those leadership boosts and pants. Because right now you already have a talented Eternal Knight and talented Shio's Travel, is going to perform better than your leadership health set immediately, unless you crit both of them, right? And that is very unlikely. And you already have iconic 2, iconic 3, the Eternal Knight and stuff. So craft them, but keep them on your third infantry set until you actually have the right amount of talent and iconics actually on it. My recommendation is that once you actually talent and iconic 2 those equipments, you'll be able to actually replace your current set, and then you'll actually be able to benefit from the benefit of health on infantry, because infantry has like a very minimal health that you can actually get. You don't really get any health actually at all from the equipment sets unless you use leadership set. So you're going to benefit a lot in terms of trades once you actually get those leadership pants and boots. And then give your non-set gloves to set 1. Just because of the fact that you already have non-set gloves actually crafted. And this also goes the same with this suggestion right here. Use your current one because it's already critted. But then again, when you actually get a critted non-set glove, then you can actually replace them. So it's the same concept. Like the critted infantry set piece for the glove is going to outperform that of non-critted infantry set. And then basically, when you build your third infantry set, you'll be able to kind of inherit most of what you had basically left over from the first infantry set. But then again, you just need to craft a couple other items basically at the end of the day, right? So that's why I suggest that you build the third infantry set almost simultaneously as you build your best infantry set, because you'll be able to kind of benefit the best of both worlds for both of those sets when you're building them, right? So then build the third infantry set. Use a set helmet, non-set pants, boots. Initially leadership gear first, because you want to actually swap with the first set once you have them critted and iconic 2+. So yeah. So just use a set helmet and then 2 leadership pieces initially, or if you actually crit them as you craft them is fine. You can just go ahead and use whatever your first infantry set basically provides. And then craft non-set infantry gloves in hopes that it will crit. If it does crit, you can give it to your first infantry set and never move it. But then again, if it doesn't crit, still use the current infantry gloves until you get crit and infantry iconic 2 or more on your non-set piece for infantry gloves. Now, then craft a blue weapon, because blue weapon is going to provide you the most value in the meantime, and hope cloak. And then swap out the weapon eventually with set weapon for the third set. Now, again, infantry has very limited ways for you to get health. I think 1%, 1.65% of health is almost as equivalent as giving yourself 1% all damage in most cases. So yeah, craft blue weapon and rock that infantry health until you actually have enough materials for your third weapon, and then replace them. And then at that point, I think you should basically have a full first set with perfect equipment, and then full third set with whatever you have left over. But then again, still very, very strong third set crafted. And usually I don't suggest, working on your third set until you have really, really good set already. But then again, whatever you have currently on your first set, as soon as you actually replace the missing pieces with KVK weapon and stuff, and then horn, like KVK helmet and horn, you have a lot of things to work with for your infantry number 3 set. So that's why I'm suggesting that you actually work simultaneously almost for those. And then lastly, craft horn and use it with dagger if not dismantled. If dismantled, craft drum. And once you're done with all the other projects, you can also come back to the dagger and then replace it with drum eventually as well. Let me just get the avatar out and read it again, because I can see the avatar is actually blocking the view. Okay, so craft a horn and use it with dagger if you didn't dismantle your dagger initially. And if you already dismantled dagger, it's fine. Just craft a drum in place of that so that you can complete your third infantry set. Now then, you can basically have the cavalry set complete, which you just need to craft prior to the con. Hopefully crit it, but then again, and then just give it to your first cavalry set. And whether or not you want to dismantle the untalented one that's going to be left out after that is really up to you. If you want to ever build your third cavalry set, save it. If not, just dismantle it. Is what I recommend. And then craft KVK weapon and helmet for archers. And then leadership pants and boots are optional, because at the end of the day, for your current setup, which is going to use Zhuge Liang and either Philip or Herman Prime, and eventually I'm going to actually suggest you that you use your Herman paired with Zhuge Liang so that you can actually free up Philip to actually be used with infantry. But then again, Archer 4-piece Dragon Breast set still gives you that 5% skill damage that you're never going to get outside of your equipment. And I think that's really, really valuable. So having leadership pants and boots are really optional for archers, especially when you have the full Dragon Breast set already crafted. But it's really up to you if you want to actually work towards the best perfect set. But I would recommend that you actually keep those. Just replace the KVK weapon and helmet so that you can still keep that 5% skill damage while you can actually benefit from the uplifted stats from the KVK pieces is my recommendation. But technically, the leadership boots and pants are indeed the better pieces for archers, because of the fact that archers also don't have that many ways for you to get health from anywhere else. And this is basically my final suggestion. And as you can see, I don't have... So for whatever reason, my equipment builder, I think, is pretty outdated, and they didn't have leadership pants and boots. So I actually replace them with the basic the white pieces. So think of those two pieces as leadership pieces just for your reference. So the order in which that you can actually work on your stuff. So craft the horn, and then work on your boots and pants, but don't replace them until you actually have Critter and Iconic 2 and onward, and then craft your glove for your first set in hopes that it crits at the end of the day, right? Because if it crits, then it will be really good for you. Then you just don't have to worry about actually, using the set glove until you actually have that kind of critted and then iconic 2. But if you don't crit, just use the current one until you actually get those up to the level on par with whatever infantry set glove stats that you already have. In all honesty, those two pieces are almost identical with like the stats wise. So like in the meantime, using the infantry gloves is fine. You're only missing out like 1% total stats, even at iconic 2, so it's fine. And then work on your hope cloak, and then work on your weapon, and work on your horn eventually, so that you basically have full 3 legendary sets at the end of the day. For infantry, at least. And then you just need to craft prior to the horn, prior to the con, so that you can complete your entire infantry set, cavalry set, and then you can leave your second cavalry set alone just because it's really good. Once you craft the prior to the con, you just have to transfer the talented headpiece for cavalry to the new set, to the second set, so that you don't have to worry about talenting that one. And then you can basically craft your KVK set for helmet and weapon for your archers, and then work on replacing those Dragon Breath set with leadership set if you want to. And let's go ahead and jump onto armaments. Wow, I was talking for a very long time, so my apologies if this video is getting long. But then again, I just need to explain what my thought processes are, because I think that's the only place that he can get value out of this video, because he already knows what he's doing 100% of the time. I think he already knows what he's doing. He just needs explanation, and someone with a psychopathic mind, which is me, who basically gives my suggestion in the very cold-hearted way. All right, and armament priority. So he will convert Arch or to Pincer, but should I remove Hunter from Ragnar to actually give it to Baichu and Liu Che? And this really depends on the stats that you have on Ragnar's Hunter. If you think that stats on Ragnar's Hunter needs work, let's say for example, let's just go back to Ragnar stuff. Let's say you have an armament for Hunter that basically has this archer defense included in there. If that's the case, I'll just go ahead and wait until you're done with the next couple KVKs, get on the Autarch testimony, and then get the inscriptions from us, the legendary inscriptions from Autarch testimony from your next KVK or next KVKs to actually get the Hunter inscription, and then work on getting the perfect, quote-unquote, perfect pincer formation, because that's going to help you save a lot of conversion stones at the end of the day. It's going to help you save 10 conversion stones, 9 exactly, if you already have like the perfect scroll to work on. But if your Ragnar Prime's Hunter is actually one of the best armaments that you have, I think it is going to be worth it to actually have 10 conversion stones actually invested to actually move that over to Pincer. So it really depends on what kind of armaments that you have at the end of the day. Let me actually jump onto the game. Yeah, let's actually jump onto my game and then basically tell you what I mean by that. All right, now I'm on to my game. And then as you can see, I have a couple really strong armaments. So if your armaments, your Hunter looks like this, right? Where this is all infantry stats. And it's almost close to perfect, or even has a potential to be quote unquote really, really strong armaments. It has triple stats. It has stats more than like 8 or 9%. Then obviously I think moving the hunter and putting the 10 conversion stones to actually move the hunter is actually worth it. But if it doesn't, if it's that one armament that's really low in stats, but you accidentally inscribe the hunter for, or whatever the case might be, and it's like the total stats is less than 8%, then look for inscriptions like, let's see, look for inscriptions like this that at least give you, yeah, that 8%, 9% ish. What is this? Like 2%, so 7, 8, yeah. This right here is basically 8.5, like 8.7. Yeah, 8.7% total stats, right? So find yourself something like this, because it's going to be infinitely cheaper for you to actually get this converted to pincer, because it will only cost you one conversion stone, and then get the special inscription stone from the for the pincer from, let's say, when you're actually in KVK, from Montauk Testimony. So since I'm in KVK, I'll just show you. Yeah, just work on this Autalk Testimony pieces, or if you actually win the KVK, get the Autalk Testimony and then buy one of those pincer formation toppler inscription, and then just work on a fresh new set. It's going to be very cost effective for you. It's basically what I recommend. Examples of pieces that I don't recommend actually transferring over. Probably not that. So if you have something, yeah, if you have something like this, right, on your first one, like if you have hunter inscribed here, or if you have something like this where you have hunter inscribed here, I would actually convert this into the new one, because total stats wise, although it's triple statted, and then let's say you got your hunter when you're just starting off your armaments and you were just doing it for the triple statted ones, right? Like you don't want those imperfect ones transferred over to pincer, because over time you're gonna regret it. It's gonna cost you a lot to convert those conversion stones back into the hunter, into the wedge, or whatever the case might be. So yeah, so that's basically the standard in which that I would recommend setting for yourself for swapping the armaments to pincer, the scroll hunter scroll for pincer. I would say 8 or 9% of total stats as baseline is going to be really good for you to guideline for you to actually use from. If you have 8%, that means you're at least getting 2.6% or more of stats from each slot, and count all damage as twice of health basically, or 1.5 of health, because you're working on infantry set, right? So so that means that it's gonna be at least better than epic piece by far, because epic piece, the max roll is gonna be 7.5%, right? So at least if you have more than 8% of the total stats given from that scroll, hunter scroll. I don't know what the stats look like for your hunter scroll, so I can only give remote suggestions like this. But if you have more than 8% stats on it, by all means go ahead and convert those into pincer, and then it'll be worth it. If not, then just work on a new piece is what I recommend in terms of cost effectiveness standpoint. Otherwise, your armaments look great. Like as I said, your sets all look really, really good. And this is the current lineup that you actually sent me. Lucia, Alex, Ragnar Prime. This should have been Skippy Prime. My apologies. I was making this at 2 a.m. in the morning. So so right now it's 7, or it actually turned into 8 as I was recording this. So I was sleepy. Sorry. This was supposed to be Skippy Prime. And then Zhuge Liang and Philip or Herman Prime. and Nevsky, Joan, and then Poe Arthur. All very nice pairing. And then what I recommend is that you actually utilize the fact that you have William Wallace expertise and then pair him up with Bai Chi. Now, I know that this is not the most powerful pair that you can have on the field, but it is the only way that you can actually have Liu Che and William Wallace all not go to waste at the end of the day until we have another Smite commander on the field for infantry, right? Then just have Liu Che basically work on your second pincer / archer set with Philip, and that should be just fine as is. And then move your third infantry equipment to your Ragnar and Skippy Prime set when you add the third infantry set. Eventually, so here's the thing, right? You can initially run Liu Che Bai Chu or Bai Chu Liu Che in that order, and then do what you're doing as soon as you get Bai Chu. But as you actually get closer to completing your third infantry set, this is what I would recommend for the final build, just because of the fact that you have William Wallace already rocking, and Liu Che can be paired with almost anything, including Philip. Those two pairings are really strong at the end of the day, and then that will leave, let's say, Ragnar Prime and Scipio Prime left over, and then you can actually just go ahead and give everything that you have for a third infantry set as well as the armaments on Ragnar Prime and Scipio Prime at the end of the day is basically what I recommend. But this will take time because you need to work on new set of armaments, and you have to work on completing your third infantry sets and stuff. So, but this is like what I would recommend in the final form until you get a new infantry commander that does smite damage, that is. And then if you're moving Philip out of Liu Che, then you have to work on your archers with basically Zugel and Herman, which is fine. This is awesome either way. And Nevsky, Joan, I wouldn't touch. I wouldn't invest on Belisarius Prime right now, just because of the fact that like the next cavalry commander, almost guaranteed that it's gonna be a combo damage commander for to be paired with Arthur, right? So you can just run this and just be done with it. I'm running this. I think this is still a very good, and only the Belisarius Prime's benefit over Nevsky is only marginal, in my opinion. It's just the fact that you can actually basically silence the target for a couple of seconds that he does the rage cap with, so it is what it is. And then Huo Arthur is probably the best cavalry march that you can have. And actually, I would swap those two places just because cavalry number 1 set should go to Huo Arthur at the end of the day. Commander priority: get Bai Chu and then run it with William Wallace, since you have William Wallace, Liu Che, Philip together. Actually, let me actually add a line here. Run Bai Chu and then Liu Che initially, but move to 3 march setup. Suggested when you have 3rd infantry set complete. So let me just go ahead and highlight this because I already sent this PowerPoint to him. So yeah. So run Bai Chu Liu Che initially, but then again move on to the 3rd 3 march setup suggested on the previous slide. Once you have the 3rd infantry setup complete. Now get Philip paired with Liu Che after that, and then run Zugel and Herman. That should be fine. Otherwise, your plan looks perfect for open field. Alright, that's basically the end of the video and end of the slides that I actually had prepared for him. That was a long video, but then again, there was a lot of exciting things to actually take a look at on this account. And I'm really excited to actually have this account reviewed. I would like to give my special thanks to MeFe, who actually gave me opportunity to take a look at this account. And hopefully this was helpful for you in terms of straightening out the order, but you already had orders figured out, so hopefully just basically to clear your mind off of things about what to work on initially. All right, I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. I've been recording this video for the last 15 minutes. I didn't expect it to be this long. So hopefully you guys had enjoyed this video. If you guys did, go ahead and drop a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you can. And if you want your very own account coaching, I'm a little bit backed up. I have a lot of people that I have to make the suggestions for. So my apologies if I do get a little bit delayed when I actually make your content. But then again, thank you so much for watching my video. And if you want your own video, join the Discord, reach out to me on Discord, and then I'll basically ask you basic questions so that I can make videos like this for you. And as always, I'll see you all on the next video. Peace!